My name is Paxis Kalta. I live at Twin Oaks Community. I've been here for almost 12 years now. There are about 2,000 organizations in the United States that call themselves communities, and about half of them are spiritual and the other half are secular. What these groups do principally is they share things. This is what makes a community. And the things that they share come in two broad different flavors. One of those is they share material things, and the other is they share social and cultural things.
I mean, let's face it, Americans don't share. I mean, we don't.
Quit hoarding material things. I mean, we've become a society that we have garages that are stuffed full. It took me a while, weeding through my stuff in Oklahoma to get it to where I could fit it in a station wagon, and that's what I traveled with. And I've not felt a loss at all. If anything, I just felt relief to get rid of all that stuff.
We have something called Kami Clothes, which is like a free clothes lending library. I go to Kami Clothes, I find something that I like, I put it on, I wear it till I'm tired of it. If it's possible to share it, we share it. We're way out at the end of the range of possibilities. So we have one bank account for 93 people who live here, and we share all the income from the businesses, and we grow our own food, and we raise our own kids, and we fix our own buildings, and we fix our own cars, and we have a largely self-sustaining eco-village.
But the nice thing is we bear the kind of brunt of the economy across 100 shoulders rather than just on one shoulder. In the end, our life, sustenance comes from the land.
We wonder about this whole sense of alienation in our society, and it's like the further and further, the more we separate the family, where families don't have time to spend together. Actually, both parents are working. You come home, you've worked all day, you come home, you gotta make dinner, you gotta do all the things you have to do, you pay your bills, you gotta do the day-to-day things of living that you couldn't do because you're at work, and at the same time you have your kids. When do you get time to be with your kids? And then we wonder why, why people are alienated, why the kids don't feel loved, why they go out and shoot people. And we've always known that the structure of how we're choosing to live today in industrial worlds causes alienation, and yet we keep doing it.
Maybe with the economic downturn, people will just again, just turn to their neighbors once again. It's just and then maybe a couple families will go in together and get a house. I mean, it's certainly, people who immigrate here and are poor, basically, that's right. They move into what we would consider a single family home, and 3 families live in it. And here, because we're intentional about that, not doing it out of, necessity right off the bat, we can plan for it, and basically make it really, here you have pretty much a middle class lifestyle.
I don't think human beings are meant to live alone. I don't think we're meant to live in small, single family units. And it went from, say, in the industrial age, when it was the man went out to work and the woman stayed home with the kids, and there was that weird, the Marxist critique of that, of the exploitation of the family. And then we're now out to a situation in which both parents are out, and then you have this and then you have these kids they don't even get to know, and it just seems so unnatural. And whereas here, I'm surrounded by people, my kids are surrounded by people. When I do work, my kids are with somebody else who knows them, who they have a day-to-day relationship with. And then we wonder why our kids are more articulate and literate than, say, other kids their own age, and why they seem to have better relationships with adults. And then there's this whole idea, especially at Twin Oaks, it's the idea that it's not the woman's place to raise the kids, it's the parents' place. And most childcare at Twin Oaks is very even between male and female, the father and the mother raising the children, and it's it works really well because there is a sense of value. There's a sense of not only value in the community, but also value amongst the parents. One of the reasons why I still live here is that I have a relationship with my kids that I don't think many fathers have. I was there when both my kids walked. I was there when both my kids spoke their first word. I spend half my labor to the community is being with my kids.
Well, I guess I could just say one thing that's great about living so closely the way we do here is, I'm good friends with Summer and Pearl, and McKean and I spend a lot of time with Anya, and I was over birth, and it's this whole sort of larger support network for raising a child, and that's really helpful for new parents.
I'm really into the idea of just exposing her to everything. All of the work that we do, doing art around her, playing music around her, and then gardening with her on our back. And yeah, that was one of the really cool things about moving here. It's just like I've had all these really hard jobs, doing a lot of physical work and feeling underappreciated.
Basically, Twin Oaks' agreement is if you work your 42 hours, you're covered. No matter what the medical circumstances, no matter, we will figure out a way to cover all of your needs, which is, fantastically liberating for people. It's like, oh, I don't have to worry about bankruptcy. I don't have to worry about, my health. I can just do my thing.
It's interesting, many of the communities failed that started back in the 60s, and this one didn't. And one of the reasons I wonder is because they kept one foot in the cash economy and one foot in the agricultural economy. And so they've been able to basically take advantage of both.
The thing about Twin Oaks is we make really good products, and like our hammocks are tip-top stuff, Our tofu is really, really great, and our indexing business is good, and everything we do is really, really good, which is surprising for a hippie commune.
What's also true is you can learn how to do almost anything here. You can learn car mechanics, you can learn beekeeping, you can learn organic gardening, you can learn woodworking, you can learn electrical, plumbing. We'll teach you just about anything.
I brought my business here, and it is now the community's business, which is web design and computer consulting. I run 2 classes a week training other communards to do web design.
And so lots of people come here, especially young people come here, and use it sort of as an applied university. They want to learn how to fix a refrigerator. They want to learn how to operate a rototiller, or whatever it is.
To me, it's really interesting, And it was the last thing that I thought I would do is like move to a commune and learn business and how to make money. That was a little weird, right?
I know.
Back in the old days when I was working for the government making maps, I made these cool things and I put a lot of love into it, like I wanted to do with a lot of things, but no one really looked at them, no one cared, it was just, just a picture, I guess, really. But here, all the jobs that I have, people, really do, compliment me on, on how good of a job I did or something like that, and so there's just this feedback mechanism,
I'm a software engineer by training. Software engineers travel a lot too, wherever the work is at. I've had my adventures, I've done my traveling, I'm ready to settle down. I started looking for unique community experiences. When I found this, it was like, they matched my ideals. I've got a family, I've got my immediate family here in Neshoba. I've got an extended family out in the community. I've got friends in the community. This is just what I needed to fill that empty nest.
Yeah.
Where else in America would a 27-year-old guy be sharing a bathroom with like an 85-year-old woman and a 70-year-old woman and a 60-year-old woman, where there's only a curtain separating the room with the toilet and the room with the sink, So it's really close like that,
We are not the 8 people with a loan of 42 years ago. We're now 100 people with $1 million in the bank and 25 buildings and 450 acres and 30 cow and half a dozen reasonably successful businesses.
Well, so in the end of the day, what Twin Oaks really offers people, and what Twin Oaks is really a blank canvas. Yes, we have this kind of overstructure, very loose overstructure, which kind of we all fit under this umbrella, but it really, there's so much openness here to being and doing what you want, to exploring what you want to be, politically, socially.
Yeah, the opportunities for personal growth here are pretty extreme, and it's pretty nice. And I think that after I leave here, and who knows when that will be, that I'll be a lot more well equipped to handle pretty much anything that comes my way.
And I think that's the most powerful thing that there is, because of this looseness. Because at the end of the day, all Twin Oaks is those of us who live here waking up in the morning and deciding, this is what I'm going to do today, this is who I'm going to be today, and doing that. At the end of the day, it's really up to you, and a lot of people leave Twin Oaks a better person than they came here, with more skills than they came here, whether it's interpersonal skills, job skills, life skills. Twin Oaks is an opportunity. And we're also a model. I feel when people come here and tell me, oh, I want to do political activism work, I'm like, well, to me the best activism is showing people an alternative model that works. And for me, that's Twin Oaks.